Alien widow, denied shelter in the colony, doomed to freeze until a human opened his door. The storm came without warning. Razor-sharp winds howled across the barren plains of Caltros 7, whipping icy dust into the air until the colony lights were swallowed whole. Survival in such weather wasn't just difficult. It was impossible without shelter. Shara pressed her thin cloak tighter around her shoulders, though it did little to keep the cold from gnawing at her bones. Her people, the Irelan, weren't built for this kind of climate. Their bodies, once accustomed to the warmth of their homeworld, wasted away in the bitter frost of exile. She staggered toward the outpost gate, her legs trembling from fatigue. Behind her, small footsteps crunched against the frozen ground. Her son, barely 8 cycles old, clung to her hand. His large, glowing eyes, so like his father's, were filled with fear. "Mama, I'm cold." "I know, little one," she whispered, forcing her voice steady. "We'll find warmth soon." But she wasn't sure she believed it. When her husband had died in the mines last season, the colony had turned its back on her. Widows, especially alien widows, were seen as burdens, mouths to feed without labor to give. She had begged the overseer for a ration card, for a bed, for anything. But the man had sneered, muttering the same phrase everyone whispered behind her back. One less alien to feed. The gates of the colony loomed ahead, golden lights glowing faintly behind the storm barrier. She tried to walk faster, half dragging her son toward salvation. But as she reached the checkpoint, 2 armored guards stepped forward, rifles in hand. The taller one raised a hand. "Stop right there." "Please," Shara said, her voice breaking. "The storm is worsening. My child, he'll die out here." The second guard spat in the snow. "No room for strays. Colony shelter is for workers and their families. You lost that privilege when your male died." "I'll work," she pleaded. "I'll do anything. Just let my boy live." Their helmets reflected no compassion, no mercy. The taller guard jabbed the butt of his rifle toward the wastes. "Back to the dunes, alien. Not our problem." Her knees buckled, and she fell into the snow, clutching her child to her chest. Wind bit into her skin until it bled. The guards turned away, sealing the gate. The golden lights vanished into the storm, leaving her in blackness. For a long moment, she sat there, listening to her son's weak breathing. Despair hollowed her chest. Maybe this was the end. But then a door opened. A rectangle of warm light cut through the swirling snow, spilling out from a smaller habitation dome near the gate. A figure stood silhouetted in the glow. A man. "Hey!" he shouted over the wind. "What are you doing out here?" Shara could barely lift her head, but the man was already running toward her. He wore no guard's armor, just thick furs lined with synth wool. Human. She shrank back, expecting him to drive her away like the others. Instead, he knelt beside her, eyes full of alarm. "Stars above, you'll freeze to death." He scooped the boy into his arms with surprising gentleness, then reached for her hand. "Come on. My home's right here. Hurry." Shara's instincts screamed caution. No human had ever shown her kindness before. But when she looked at her son, his lips turning blue, his eyelids fluttering, fear drowned out hesitation. She let the stranger pull her to her feet. Inside the dome, warmth enveloped her like a miracle. A fire crackled in a small stove. The man laid her boy on a bed and covered him with thick blankets. Then he turned to Shara. "Sit. You look half dead." She sank onto a chair by the fire, trembling as her body remembered how to feel. Her eyes locked onto the stranger. His face was rough-hewn, beard thick, eyes a steady gray. "Not young, not old." "Why?" she whispered. He frowned. "Why what? Why help me?" "Your people, they would rather see us die." The man's jaw tightened. He glanced toward the sealed colony gates, then back at her. Name's Elias. I don't answer for them, just for me. Her son stirred under blankets, his chest rising more evenly now. Shara felt tears burn her eyes, but she blinked them away. Shara, she said softly, my name is Shara, and this is my son, Lyr. Elias nodded. Well, Shara, Lyr is safe now. That's what matters. The storm raged for 3 days. Shara stayed in Elias's dome, torn between gratitude and fear. She cooked what little she could with his supplies, helped mend his tools, and kept Lyr close. Elias never once treated them as burdens. When Lyr cried in the night, Elias told him stories of Earth, green forests, blue oceans, skies that didn't burn your skin. On the second night, Shara whispered, You risk much by keeping us here. If the overseer finds out, Let him, Elias interrupted, his voice sharp with conviction. I came to this frozen rock to escape the kind of men who let a mother and child die in the snow. If helping you makes me an outcast, so be it. Something in her chest loosened, something she hadn't felt since her husband's death. Hope. By the 4th day, the storm passed. The gates reopened. Shara expected Elias to tell them to go then, to send them back into the world that had rejected them. Instead, he surprised her again. You could stay, he said quietly while repairing a broken lantern. This place, it's lonely. Having you two here, it doesn't feel so empty anymore. Her breath caught. Stay? It was impossible. The colony would never approve. Other humans would scorn him for taking in an alien widow. And yet, when she looked at Lyr, warm, safe, laughing for the first time in months, she wanted to believe. Do you mean that? She asked. Elias set the lantern aside and met her gaze without hesitation. Every word. The following week tested his promise. Rumor spread fast. The overseer himself stormed to Elias's dome, demanding Shara be thrown out. She has no place here, the overseer growled. You'll bring trouble on all of us. Elias stood in the doorway, shoulders squared. Then you'll have to drag her out over my body. The overseer sneered, but Elias didn't budge. And for the first time in Shara's life, someone had chosen her. Not out of duty, not out of pity, but out of defiance against cruelty. That night, when the dome lights dimmed and Lyr slept peacefully, Shara whispered the words she had held back for so long. Thank you for opening your door, for saving us. Elias looked at her with that steady, storm-gray gaze. No one deserves to freeze alone, Shara. Not you, not your boy. And in that fragile silence, warmth bloomed, not from the stove, not from the blankets, but from something neither storm nor cruelty could snuff out. A chance at life, a chance at belonging. And it had all begun the moment one human opened his door,